I don't think this is a novel political critique, but I do think the reality of some classical conservative values include things like meritocracy and an ordered social hierarchy and zero sum thinking. And I think all of those things work together to create the environment that we're in at the present moment. So I think around kind of a natural ordered hierarchy assumes that the world demands somebody at the top to boss us around, right? And that's, you want a supreme leader, right? You want to run the country like a business because you want a CEO at the top. You want somebody who doesn't have to take into account stakeholder input. You don't want somebody at the top who has to be mindful of multiple viewpoints. You want somebody at the top who's in charge and can call the shots and just everybody get out of the way and, let them cook. I think that's this hierarchical ordered view. I think you combine that with meritocracy. And meritocracy, the thinking that those who are in positions of wealth and power have earned that for themselves and they're somehow qualitatively better than the rest of us. And so we intend to, or we typically extend impunity because of that. We think, oh, well, these people have earned it. They deserve it. They are rich and wealthy and powerful. And so we treat them differently. We allow them some impunity. We allow them to take action without a consequence. And then you think about all of us out here, and boy, wouldn't that be cool to be in the orbit of those who are naturally ordered at the top of the hierarchy, who are those who must be the greatest of the greatest because they're the ones with the wealth and the power. And so then all of us out here begin to think about proximity to power. So maybe I can leapfrog my social status by, being a good foot soldier, by getting in the in group. And then that proximity to power might extend some of that benefit to me, that maybe I also will be allowed to operate with impunity. And at the heart of all of this is zero-sum thinking, that there's only so much of everything to go around. There's only so many resources, only so much money, only so many rights. There's only so much to go around. And so those at the top who have earned it, who must be smarter than us, who must be, better at running stuff than us, that any of the resources that are zero sum goes to the top first. And then if it trickles down a little bit, fine, it trickles down a little bit. But what our intention is here in society, to perfectly organize our society in a way that coheres with zero sum thinking and meritocracy and a natural ordered hierarchy, then those, when we have zero sum resources, must first be allocated to the top. And when we seek proximity to power, we want to be included in that hierarchy. So we don't want to go for social policies that'll benefit everybody, because we have the idea then that will diminish the available resources on zero-sum thinking. And so we want to be proximity to power. We want to be as close to the ordered hierarchy at the top as possible. Those are the people who deserve it and who have earned it and who are the rich, wealthy, genius. Good for them. That proximity there means we get a little bit of that wealth and power and respect because we think that we've earned ourselves a right up there as good foot soldiers. And why would we then vote for any social services programming that takes that distribution of wealth and power at the top and seeks to redistribute that wealth among all of us down here? So when you're, sort of like in this orbit of zero-sum thinking, natural ordered hierarchy, meritocracy, that then we vote against our own social interests. We vote against our own class interests because our desire is to be at the top of the naturally ordered social hierarchy. Our desire is to have proximity to power. Our desire is to be in that in-group because it seems as though they can operate without consequence, that they can operate with impunity. And so why wouldn't you want that, right? So I think that's how people begin to vote against their own class interests. And the view from down here is to see through all of the holes in all of those values. That just isn't the case. It isn't the case that people that have the power and the wealth are those who are somehow more deserving than the rest of us. It isn't the case that an ordered natural hierarchy naturally arises from the world. That just isn't the case. Really, what is the case naturally is that all of us, through evolutionary design and tweaks and stuff over hundreds and thousands of years, we're a pro-social species, right? Coming from the great apes, that we are pro-social, that we do like cooperative, we like to work together, we like to be collaborative, and that's how we are most successful. But if we say cooperation and equality and equity and collaboration, fairness, right? All of that is a threat to the idea of natural ordered thinking. All of that is a threat to the idea that those at the top are the ones who deserve to be there. All of that speaks against the idea that there's only so many resources to go around, because when we really start spreading the resources around among a flat, egalitarian, pro-social, collaborative, cooperative, collective view of the world, then we see, oh wow, when we share, there actually is plenty to share. So that's a threat to those who would be at the top, who want to promote the ideas of zero-sum thinking, natural ordered hierarchy, meritocracy, and the ability to act with impunity, the ability to act without negative consequence. So what I think we need to do is to move away from the policy critiques, because I don't think the policy critiques are landing. I think rather what we need to do is to recenter ourselves in our values rather, and then remind ourselves, who are those who are around me in my class? And I don't have billionaires in my class. I have other people that are middle class wage earners like me. That's who's in my class. And so why would I think that there's only so many resources to go around? Wouldn't I want to think that there's enough resources for all of us to be lifted up? And those resources will come from those who have tried to pretend as though they're the ones who deserve it at the very top. So I think what's required in this moment is relationship building, relational transformation, and a return to centering ourselves in our values and in working class, middle class solidarity.